I'm going to click on Student Learning Outcomes. What I see here are the 4 outcomes for the English department on the left, and the outcomes that they are mapped to. This is the work that I've done this summer. I did it a couple of weeks ago. I've left one outcome blank for the purposes of this workshop today. So I am going to check it out. And I'm going to come back here again and try to map one of our English department outcomes, global awareness, to the other higher outcomes that we have established at Mesa. So how do I do that? I'll click on Map. It tells me nothing is mapped yet to this outcome, which I kind of knew. So what do I want to map it to? Well, I want to map it to some general education outcomes. So I'll put that in. And here are all of the general education outcomes that I just showed you in the PowerPoint. Now, global awareness in the English department, does it have anything to do with the scientific method? Probably not. I'm going to go through these other general education outcomes in the other categories because I think it's really interesting to establish some kind of cross-disciplinary connections when and if they exist. But I can't see really anything in natural sciences about global awareness. Unless you're talking about the globe as geography, then perhaps we could talk about that. How about express understanding of how people act and have acted in response to their societies or the natural? Hey, that sounds like global awareness to me. I'm going to check it. Articulate how societies and social subgroups operate. Again, this is not particularly an English general education outcome, but I think global awareness in English classes align with those other things in social and behavioral sciences. The humanities is understanding and appreciation, varieties of cultural and artistic. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Maybe not the arts per se or the elements of artistic work. Does global awareness have anything to do with clear and coherent communication? Would help, wouldn't it? Logical and rational, that's it. Now what's happened in my little workspace? Now the global awareness departmental English outcome is mapped to the general education outcomes that I've just clicked. And I can also map them to the institutional learning outcomes. Right now I'm not going to do that because I'm already taking a little bit over my time here. And then I check it back in. I can add a comment. I mapped the global awareness outcome to some different general education outcomes. I'm going to submit that comment, and I'm going to go back to the workspace. Okay, so that's one mapping function in Taskstream. Why is that important? Because at the end of the day, we are going to be able to generate a report using Taskstream that will say every course that's taught at Mesa, every service area that's taught in Mesa, the student outcomes for those areas, and how they're aligned to those different sets of outcomes. And believe me, folks, that's what people are looking for. That's what the ACC-JC will be looking for when they come here. They're going to be looking for that kind of alignment and coherence in our general educational offerings. There's one more kind of mapping that you can do with Taskstream, and that's with the curriculum map. So with the student learning outcomes, we've mapped these outcomes to the larger outcomes that exist at Mesa. If I click on curriculum map, I can align the activities and assignments in a typical English 101 course to the departmental outcomes. Let's see how that works quickly. I'm going to edit the map. Now, I've already done a little bit of work on this. Here are some typical activities and assignments that one can find in an English 101 class. Of course, there will be essays, Some English 101 courses have journals, oral reports, et cetera, et cetera. Anybody can come in and add more activities or assignments that he or she might want to assess in their class. It's easy to do. And then what's great is up here you see the departmental outcomes. So that if you are assessing an essay, it might tell you something about rhetorical awareness. It also might tell you something about critical thinking. It also might tell you something about creative thinking, so that in that one assessment of an essay, you're assessing not only one outcome, you're assessing three. You get more bang for your buck, you know? And again, the more faculty members that get in here and do the assessments in their course, the more check marks we will have, and the more impressive those reports will be when we click and generate them at the end of the day. Yeah, Janice?
Are the outcomes set up as soon as you...
They're populated already. That's one great thing that Yvonne Berglund's office has done for us. All of the outcomes are in there. All of your department outcomes in there. General education, institutional, they're all in there. And they will appear at the top of this curriculum map so that it's very easy for you to just kind of click it whenever you are ready to assess an activity or an assignment. I guess the last thing that I want to say is this is not a software program that you have to be anxious about or apprehensive about. It's not like CurricuNet. This is simple. This is really simple stuff. And it will be simple even when you go in and record the results of your assessments and your plan about those assessments as well. So I make sure that I've checked that back in, and then I'm going to log out, and one of my colleagues will come up.